the Hoosier Triplets, a trio of Indiana authors road tripping through the romance genre and sharing what we love and learn. Welcome to our podcast.
Hey Trip fans, welcome back. It is that time of year where we all start getting very reflective and we want to discuss what we're thankful for. So I guess I'm kicking it off with what I'm thankful for professionally, and I'm happy that there are people that are strong that have offered to help me carry my heavy ass shit all over the United States, in airports, in hotel parking lots, at signings. You have no idea how heavy those totes get filled with books, and I'm just really, really thankful for all the people that have pitched in to help me.
I'm thankful for the community, the book community, whether it's authors and readers, good friends and family. I'm not a very people-y person most of the time, and my awkward is usually rocks the same amount of awkward within the community.
She's found her awkward tribe.
They wear big A's, but not Hester Pern kind.
Go for it.
Okay, a different kind of A. Okay, so professionally, I'm thankful. What the heck? What was that?
One of the hooks.
Okay. I'm thankful for. I know, right? That's a sign. That's a sign. I'm thankful for. I'm thankful to all the readers. I'm thankful to everybody who reads my books, and especially people who leave reviews, because we were just talking about that at lunch. And very grateful for every review I get, no matter how many stars or what it says. I'm just thankful that means that somebody has read my work. So there I am.
Then we'll turn to personal. What are we thankful personally? Okay, I'll kick it off. No tears, teammates.
Oh, no. I'm dead inside. We're okay.
So I am thankful that we are all still here on Earth together. 2024 has been a rough year with the cancer taking the life of our good friend, author Anna Haig. Delilah Devlin, who is my editor, Cindy's editor. She's edited the anthologies, the Boys Behaving Badly anthologies that we all have been a part of, is now in her own battle. Many, many other authors and readers and friends seem to be afflicted with breast cancer. Myself, I had a wonky biopsy earlier in the year that, thank God, turned out okay, and I'm still good to swing the boobies around, but I'm just thankful that I'm here to live another day.
That's really hard to follow.
I know, right?
Y'all don't know
I'm
what
thankful
to do
for pizza.
When I'm adult and sensitive, people don't know what to do.
Well, I think being thankful for your health is a big one. Ditto. I don't know. I can't follow that. I agree. I miss Anna.
I got an alert that she has a book coming out, and I dropped the phone. I was so shocked.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was like one of those BookBub alerts, I think. Yeah, I was like, oh my God.
When I was driving to pick you up to meet for the podcast, I went past the Cracker Barrel off of the interstate, which is where I would meet with her to swap the books when we were doing the consignment, and just it makes me think of her.
So I'm thankful for my health, because this year, by the time this is posted, I will have had both of my hips replaced. So that's about 6 weeks of recovery per hip off of work, and then a full year before actually it's entirely recovered. In light of the Anna Haig conversation, when I was recovering from the first one, my brain wasn't together to do any writing, but because I also do children's books, I decided to finally tackle the flamingo themed book that I had promised her way back when. A little too late, but anyway. So yeah, thankful for my health.
Yeah. She'll know. It's all about intent. So that's a little insight into us. If you want to post what you're thankful for, we'd be very interested to hear.
So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you're thankful for this year.
You wanted to be in clothes? Is that why?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to be in dark clothes. And
Oh, dark
I
clothes.
did wash my hair.
Are you like goth Cindy today?
Not really.
Okay.
I kind of like princessy with the empire waist and everything.
It's not called an empire waist. That's how I always.
It's empire.
Yeah. It's spelled empire.
Fashion
empire waist.
Fashion merchandising degree.
Empire. Aubergine. Okay. So we're gonna talk Goblin Mode today.
Not goblin.
I still think my precious.
Let's see.
My precious.
Goblin Mode.
She looked like M&M's. Great aunt.
Spaghetti on my sweater or whatever. Yeah.
Spaghetti.
Which is the difference between being author on, like the persona versus like how we differ between, author. I will say, get ready for one of my humble brags. I've gotten recognized in Goblin Mode. So I feel like a hometown, I have to always look nice when I go there. I can't go with my food stained shirt and my pajama pants with my house shoes and my hair not brushed for 3 days, because they know they know my author persona, and I feel like I need to be more professional than that. So it's like, because Cindy Tanner is like the good bra, the clean face with a little bit of makeup, make sure I put on 2 layers of deodorant, and try not to have any food stains on my clothes, but that's usually going to happen anyway if I've eaten that day. It's very, very different.
So Goblin Cindy is no bra, pajama pants.
If Goblin Cindy's wearing pants, it's a fancy day.
Yeah, I was gonna say pants.
That's a going out day.
Yeah, well, and my son is getting to an age now where sometimes he has friends over, so I feel more that I have to not be in Goblin Mode at home. Because I feel like...
You want to be the hot mom?
No, I don't want to be the hot mom, but I also don't want to be the embarrassing mom with the saggy boobs hanging out of my moo-moo.
With the cigarette out around the beard.
Yeah. But I mean, and sometimes Goblin Mode Cindy has her heatless curls. I've got a bonnet, mainly because I feel like if I'm trying to be fancy, I won't just throw my hair in a bun. I'll just put it in my little bonnet and pretend like I'm not damaging it and breaking it and stuff.
But so author mode Cindy. Mm-hmm. Is there
pretends like she has her life together?
Okay.
I try to be
I think we kind of all do that.
Yeah.
Period. Even in our Goblin Mode, we try and pretend that we have our life together.
I think I have been telling myself a lie that I need an office to work in. I do my best writing in bed in my pajamas, snacking on peanut butter M&Ms at 2 a.m.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Found your nest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Melanie, author v Goblin.
Well, we all know MJ is much nicer than the real me, or the government named me, because MJ sometimes even thinks before she speaks, and I don't think I've had too many throwdowns as my author self. So yeah, I'm much nicer, and yeah, I tried to wear a nicer bra, and the reason I gave up on TikTok was that it was just a big pain in the ass to put makeup on to do these videos, for 40 seconds. I just thought that was a huge waste of time.
Okay, Miss Island, you didn't have your production crew.
Well, that was the other problem with TikTok, is it fed into that I need backdrop, I need lighting, I need music, I need a script, I need someone to hold the cue cards. Yeah, it fed into all of that. I was even I need sequins. So it fed all those bad things that, you don't have to do that. It's yes, I do, because I'm an actor. So yeah, that was part of the thing. But yeah, so author persona is much nicer and more pulled together than a government person.
I don't know that author me versus government name me have a lot of personality differences. I try not to express certain opinions as author me, because it would be the same things I wouldn't share in the workplace, because there's a time and a place.
Well, I think author me is I guess, especially at a signing, I think of it as more of a performance, because when I'm at home, I'm not trying to actively sell anything. I'm not trying to make connections with other people who aren't my family.
Listen to people at signing.
Well, and I feel like, so here's my thing. Like, I feel my stories that I tell for all of my books, which they're all true stories, because I don't want to make up something, but I feel like I've said those stories 1,000 times, and I kind of feel like people are going, yeah, heard that. I just want to buy the book. And not like that's a bad thing, but like in that effort to connect with readers, I kind of feel like I'm way more on than I would be, at home where I,
I can give her a 20 and she's not going to have a problem.
I'll even let you talk it. But I just at home, like I mumble and, I don't talk a lot because I'm like, yeah, nobody cares about the author stuff at home. Whereas, when I'm at an author signing, hopefully, knock on wood, people who are coming up to me want to talk about books. So it's not just me being on in a performance kind of way, but it's also me being excited because I get to be with people who have a common interest.
Well, we're living our passion when we're our author selves.
Absolutely.
I mean, because I think to last this long, you have to be passionate. You may hate your lover sometimes, but you still have to be passionate about it.
Yes, she can be a fickle mistress, can't she?
Yes, she can.
Signings are always good energy. My social battery tends to wind down. It doesn't matter how long the signing is. Usually within the last hour, I can just feel like my resting bitch face like naturally creeping up because like I forget to like smile.
There's a text that comes in. Where are you thinking of eating? What are you hungry for? I'm thinking about food. I know her. It's an hour to go because the food text is coming in.
And I'm starting to send menus from local places. Well, that's like in the trips. I'm food. We got
That's your
wheels.
job.
We got
I'm always ready.
accommodations.
I'll tell you honestly, the end of a signing, I need food. I mean, I don't care if it's 2 hours or 6 hours, done them both. But I want food, and I want it pretty damn fast after I get packed up and back to the room. I mean,
And generally, we seek out pizza or Chinese after a signing.
we need a lot of food.
If anyone wants to try to, have a meal with us after an event.
Yeah. Call us a meal.
I think the other thing that we tend to need to do, and maybe it's the introverted part of it, is kind of rehash while it's still fresh. Good things, bad things, things that we would do different, things that, I had to say. They had to say, but things that we think the organizer could have done differently or what they did well.
A good event always has like this pulse of like awesome energy. And it's like you have to like debrief, like come down from that.
Exactly.
So just getting and just to try and kind of talk it out or, I always have a few stories of where I've like gotten tongue tied or said something stupid.
Or they say something stupid to you and you're just like,
Yeah. But I'm like, that's my people because that is me. I'm gonna buffer, and I love it when a reader will come up and ask me what I write or like what my sales pitch is, and I'm always like, this isn't how the conversation was supposed to go. You're like, ask me a more specific question.
well, and if you want to bring my good mojo to a screeching halt, is ask me how much dollar-wise I sold because I'm very protective of that. And sometimes it's not how much you sell. It's, like you're shocked that maybe your contemporary sold to this crew because 90% of the people ask you about dark romance, which I don't write. So, my goals at events aren't always the bottom line, the financial. And I never know. I don't know. Maybe it's like the time I was brought up in, but like discussing money with just anybody, and that's not cool.
And honestly, I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't know the actual dollar amount until I get home and I plug it in because there's like a whole financial aspect to it.
Well, and if you're charging $20 a book and I'm charging $8 a book,
there's a big difference.
Your 100 means you sold 5. My 100 means I sold more than 5.
Whatever that is. But it's also a feeling like if I have, people coming past and I'm talking with them, I'm just more excited. My energy, I have a much better feeling about the event, regardless of how much I sold, than if there are long periods of, crickets chirping and I'm like, I'm either talking to myself and, looking like an idiot, or I'm like yelling across the way, hey, what do you trying to get somebody to come talk to me, or I'm on my phone, which is, like a big no-no in my book, but what else am I going to do to look, otherwise I just kind of look like, somebody come talk to me, so there's that which impacts my feeling of how I did at a signing or whether I'd want to come back or not.
Well, I know there was the one signing we all went to a couple years ago, and I had been selling, my paranormal was selling 100% stronger than my contemporary. I went as MJ and I only brought paranormal, not a paranormal audience. They all wanted contemporary, so about 45 minutes in, I'm like, well, I sure screwed myself. I didn't bring any contemporary, so then I just start telling people, hey, FYI, but it wasn't, I didn't mark it off as a bad event. I just chose wrong, and now I pretty much bring both in hopes that something hits.
Yeah. Well, that's hard to say is what is like how the signing is successful, because each author runs their own author business differently. So what is profitable is, because my contemporaries that have been out, I have been able to earn back my initial investment on them. So then when I'm going to a signing, my profit margin on those, it's just like the printing costs, of the book, plus, you have like the expenses of the event and things itself. So that's like significantly better than like my latest release. Don't say it. A newer released book where, I haven't earned back like the cost of edits or a cover or,
Well, I know last year at RAGT, we had a lot more first year people. My newest releases did not sell well as compared to what I call my old books, but they're first and second in series. Those were flying out the door, which in my head, I had to sort of wrap my head around that. And then I was like, well, if I really thought about it, we have a lot of new people, but, it didn't hit me until, that first night where I'm like, well, yeah, now it starts to make sense. But, and a part of me, though, like that first morning where you usually have a lot of sales, I'm like, nobody's liking this new book. I don't understand this. I mean, it's on a banner. It's, it's a good book. And, but then I was sort of like, oh, but now I'm starting to understand it better.
Well, because you don't know going in. I mean, I don't know any event coordinator who's going to come back and say, here are the demographics of the people who have purchased tickets.
God,
so we don't know
would.
that. I mean, yes, that would be absolutely so nice, because like how many people are coming, and if they could capture like first time attendees, or whatever.
What are they looking for?
Right? Yeah, because how many times have we been to an event and you're looking around like, apparently this is like a motorcycle mafia club kind of event, and here I am with my dragons and my kids' books. Like, oops,
Yeah,
Am I surprised if I don't sell well? No, because that's not what the people are coming for.
And it doesn't mean that they wouldn't buy. They also have a secret yearning for this, or their best friend reads that. It's just, it would be, that is good information to know. That nobody's figured out how to give us that yet. Organizers.
Well, also, when I was a reader before I was publishing, I couldn't have told you the genres that I liked by like the genre or tropes. I would have known it by author, by cover, but I wouldn't have. I didn't even realize that I liked reading romance until I was, because romance are the bodice rippers, like the harlequins that my grandma had and
the chics damsel
and on her shelf. I didn't realize how all encompassing romance was, which is the bad rap that it gets, and it's so frustrating because it's still thought of that way. And I think you get like different genres and things that come out, like romantasy is a really big one, and I think that's almost a way to like pull that out of romance to make it but not quite fantasy either. I love I love saying romantasy. I'm just gonna ponder that.
I think that's totally so people are gonna get into Comic-Con with it. That's what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the one degree of separation that now like the men in charge.
It's the whole like Beneford, Jake, all that stuff. God forbid we speak a couple extra syllables. We've got to smush it into a smaller word. But yeah, so so romantasy, so it's fantasy, and then there's some sort of romance.
I've been writing it. Didn't know.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know.
But it's fantasy, isn't that like?
Well, I mean, I know that Entangled considers like the paranormal.
anything
That's tied into fantasy because it's under folklore that would be fantasy. So now again, everybody's back in it.
So then here we go. Like what's in a genre? Because fantasy to me would be like witches and elves and anything like Lord of the Rings ish, which is not werewolves. That's paranormal and vampires.
But they have dire wolves in Game of Thrones.
My brain was like diarrhea. Fire me! Oh my gosh, I'm just gonna go home. Yes, dire wolves.
Who now I have to have one in a book and name it Diarrhea. Or maybe I'll just call him Poopsie or something.
her name is Rhea.
Oh yeah. The dire wolf Rhea.
Oh yeah. No, but I mean,
bless my heart.
But who better than Romancelandia to try to take on and outmaneuver and outsmart with wordplay? I mean, we're going to win. Somebody, because the brains are just, they're too creative.
I do kind of love that about Romancelandia because, I mean, we get such a bad rep. But if you look at the statistical data, which look at the statistical data and then come back and have the conversation with me. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Come tell me how we suck.
Yeah.
And how you would never read romance because it's all bodice rippers and
Somebody's
it's just so formulaic.
And as you're lonely on Saturday night, sitting around with your hand down the front of your pants, maybe you should read some. It could stop that loneliness problem.
Maybe it'll help you how to not act on dates.
How do you know my hands aren't down my pants because I read it?
Things not to say for some authors at a signing.
Yeah.
From personal experience.
Authors don't like to hear about self-masturbatory.
Bullshit. Tell me you masturbated in my books. Please.
Don't tell me. I won't know what to do.
Please tell me you masturbated in my books.
Tell me and I'll tell you my stories.
I think it would probably be cool after the fact as a compliment, but I won't know what to say and I'll bluff her.
I'd go to high five you and be like, wait a minute, did you wash?
Okay, we really strayed off topic.
What were we talking about?
But a lot of good points.
There were a lot of good points.
Being on versus being off.
Yeah, a lot of good signs.
I think a lot of it has to, I really do think a lot of the energy has to do with just talking about, being with people who love the same thing we do. Like you mentioned, the passion.
I'm just a bad influence on everyone.
You know that you're going to be in a room full of people that you have a huge thing in common with to talk about. It doesn't matter about anything else. You have a love of books.
Yeah.
You have a love of books within an all-encompassing genre.
And it's hard. Okay, it should be hard to offend another person. Mm-hmm. I mean, just because we're pretty wide open, pretty varied interests and tastes. So, as long as social niceties are, but you can have your opinion and you're okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, and the nice thing, I think a lot of, and not everybody, but a lot of authors tend to be more introverted. And I think a lot of readers also kind of skew that way. So you're in with a bunch of people who are kind of automatically awkward anyway. But
And
it's
I
okay.
love every one of you.
Yeah.
Come sit at my table.
Oh yeah, let's be awkward together.
I will embrace you and encourage your awkwardness. Just keep your hands out of your pants.
Or wash, whatever.
Whatever.
But yeah, so so that you don't necessarily get when you're, home with the family. So I think.
Or with your husband at a business dinner.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. You still attract the weird even then. But
I do.
The weird.
I do. Yeah. It's a gift.
Well, and I feel when people realize, when, you say you're an author or if your husband tells, does it kind of, it's always like a what do you write? And then say romance, then it's just I've had some of it. Ugh.
How about the bears?
And I will admit that I've gotten a little me, and I'm like, it pays my bills, so fuck you. But, and that's another thing. I think author Cindy tries not to cuss as much, except here, I guess.
I don't know. I always announce I'm a romance writer, and then I look them straight in the eye and dare them to have something to say.
Apparently, I need to do that more.
Well, you hang with me, you'll learn. And they don't say
a romance writer. Oh, jeez. Okay.
I don't know that I've ever gotten the I don't know.
See, but now do you say just romance, or do you say romance and children's books? Because maybe like the children's books like legitimizes.
If I do, it's I'm addressing it as a romance author, unless I'm being this like a substitute teacher, and then I focus on the
golden
children's
retriever energy. I mean, I don't think people
Don't beat me.
dislike you on sight. I mean, you sort of have that I want to please thing going, so they're not going to want to hurt your feelings. I perhaps do not. I sort of am like, come at me, let's see, let's go. You know,
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Snub your nose at me.
But I mean, I got romance shamed by a kids librarian at my local library, and took care of that real fast. But I mean, I'm always shocked that in this day and age, we're still getting it when. Now, especially with ebooks and e-readers and on your phone, anybody can be reading or looking at anything they want at any time. So why be judgmental?
Yeah. But are the people that are judging it, reading it? No.
Yeah.
They don't, because they don't know what it is. Read it before you can judge it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Read
absolutely.
5 books and come back.
Well, and then they're always the one that are, I love whatever TV series. Well, there's romantic elements in like every TV series.
And how many, think of the TV shows and the movies that are being pulled from romance books.
Yes,
I mean, passion flicks. We have,
Yes.
romance has its own streaming service now.
Hallmark Channel.
Well, I mean, the Hallmark Channel. How much money they just started? Right, they just started the Christmas movies in October, and how many people are obsessed because they are
And aren't those a little formulaic?
a little. Every big city slicker girl loses her job, has to go back home to her small town that has the Christmas festival.
Yeah.
Or she has to save the farm, the Christmas tree farm, or the bakery, or whatever. And
she
then
meets her old boyfriend and realizes small town living is actually wonderful.
and he looks so good in his beard.
But I mean, there is something comforting in the formulaic. There are some authors that I read because I know what beats they're gonna hit and win, and like if my anxiety's high. So, but it's like it's my comfort blanket. It can be so much more.
Yeah. Well,
but you guys know because you read romance. You're listening to us.
it is what it is, and everybody can find something for them and what they love. I mean, that might not be one of my top loves, but that's okay. I mean, I'm glad you found something you love, something you find comfort in.
So I was just, by the time this comes out, it won't be but just spent some time in Houston with my brother-in-law and his wife. And as like that first night we're over there and I look over next to on the coffee table and there's a Colleen Hoover book. And so I immediately turn to the wife and I'm like, hey, so what'd you think of the movie? Whichever one with Blake Lively in it. And she's like, oh, I love Colleen Hoover. I love that movie, blah, 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 blah. And she knows that I write romance and what have you. And of course, through the course of the stay, I'm reading some stuff and I'm reading like a male, female, male, omniverse kind of, dark romance or whatever, and the brother-in-law is like, oh, what are you reading, Ava? Or Ava, and I'm just like, I'm reading a romance. Like, I don't normally I'm not, but it's just like, does he really need to know exactly what I'm reading? Probably not.
He's so jealous of his brother.
But I'm just like, yeah, not Colleen Hoover.
And honey, put on gloves when you change those sheets.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've strayed from Goblin Mode.
Yes, we have.
But I think that we had a good chat. Thanks for listening in. Like, subscribe, follow. If you know where to find us.
And you can even mention if you've ever seen us out of profession.
Yeah, have you caught any of the trips in the wild?
In the Middle Earth, yeah.